I'm Ted Henry, winemaker at Clos Winery here in Stags Leap District, and today I've got Olav Goelet, who's going to be coming in and drinking a bottle with me. And he's the owner of the winery. His family's had this winery in their possession for the last almost 50 years now, and their wine history goes way beyond that. So what's exciting is I know Olav has got something really special, and I've heard old that we're going to play with today, and I'm really excited to try it. So we'll see what it is and have a good time with it. Olav.
Ted, how's it going?
It's great. What do you have? What are we doing?
Well, you know, I figured after we had a long day today tasting through some current wines, and I figured maybe we should go back maybe a century or so and try something else.
A century, okay. So a decade or?
No, I would say a century.
Okay.
So we're
Okay,
talking 100 years.
Okay.
Slightly longer than that, actually. So what we have here today, Ted, is a Madeira.
Okay.
From 1824. Well, why don't you take a look at it?
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
Crazy. That's amazing. So it says a Madeira wine of P.P. Goelet, your last name, from Murdoch, Yule, Wardrobe and Company, whatever that is. Imported 1824, bottled 1825. P. Goelet, P.P. and P. Goelet, interesting. Decanted 1885 by William Fearing, and then recorked April 16, 1919. That's crazy. I mean, there's a lot to unpack. For one thing, this glass is insane. I mean, this actually reminds me of the glass in like a Victorian house. Like we have in Napa, we have houses going back to the 1800s, and the glass looks like that. You've got this waviness, you've got bubbles. Look at the actual divot here where the cork goes in. That's pretty incredible. I mean, this is a piece of history. Super excited to see this. Thank you.
Yeah. So what's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying it with you, Ted. Curious to see how it shows. What's fun for me is the persistence that some people in my family have gone to ensure that there still are some bottles here left. So you know, P.P. Goelet would have been an ancestor of mine. And it was obviously left over to his son, who then decided it was important to make sure that the wine was still fresh, so recorked it at one point. And then actually, it would have been his grandson who then took the initiative to recork it just prior to Prohibition and prepare himself for what was potentially going to be a dry spell.
Yeah, so why just then? Why is that the time?
You know,
so the idea?
You know, I think the idea was he wanted to make sure that it was very clear that this was something that was here prior. So wanted to be very, specific that this was pre-Prohibition. It was in his possession prior, and he stocked himself up in addition to Madeira, some great rum and rye whiskey. And somehow, a few of these barrels that were set aside and were rediscovered through. Quite frankly, some inventory cleanup at a family's house, one of my family's shared homes, and my dad and my uncle jumped at the opportunity to stick these into their wine cellars, and my dad very kindly shipped a couple out for us to try.
So how was this stored? I mean, so you're saying it was in a
So what was found was a number of oak barrels that were empty, that were filled with straw, and these bottles.
Okay.
And they were stored in a cool basement for quite a bit of time.
Is bootlegging? Is this considered bootlegging?
No, I think I'm not gonna dispel whether or not there was any activity in that range. I don't think family members would be too appreciative. But what I definitely know is he was an avid wine enthusiast.
Yeah.
In addition to this wine, there's in the same home that I share with a number of cousins, and there's an old book that goes through all the parties that he used to have and what wines were served at those parties.
No way. Who does that?
He clearly enjoyed his wine. And
will you have this book?
Not in my possession, but it's at the house.
You have access to it?
Yeah. So I'll send you some photos.
I would love to see that.
Definitely worth checking out.
I wish I would have done that with parties that I had, which would have little consequence versus what you're talking about. But that's amazing that someone would take the time and effort to document what they had at parties.
Clearly a passion of his.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really cool. It goes back in the family for quite some time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, you know, hey, let's take a crack at it, see what it tastes like, right? I'm gonna let you open it. You've got the steady
'Kay.
hands.
All right.
So why don't we give it a crack?
See what happens. Luckily, you know, it's only been 100 years since this was recorked, so it's probably probably going to be fine. We'll see. What can go wrong?
Hopefully, we'll be pleasantly surprised.
I'm excited. Wow.
I'm curious how you're.
I know, right? I don't even know how to. Wow. Not sure how to attack this. Slow and steady, I suppose.
Slightly different from the 2017s that we were
Yeah,
tasting today.
no, this is definitely a little bit of a more aged one. So cool, though. There you go. Screws through.
Well done.
Don't celebrate yet. Still early. Wow. I hope it doesn't break apart. It's really flared out on the side, so I'm not sure if this also is gonna. It's meant for like standard bottles. Push it down a little bit. Let's see. See what happens here. Ooh, look at that. Took out like.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's funny, this Duran is like made for like the oldest bottle of wine you're ever gonna find, unless it's from 1824. And then it's not it's not quite up to the
It's
task.
met its match potentially.
Wow.
Well,
That's really interesting. Well, we'll get there. But we got you know, like 9/10 of that out. I wonder if I can nab this out here. It's in the drink.
it's in the drink. Well,
Say we try it, though.
I think we still need to try it. I agree with you.
It's been sitting in this bottle for quite some time, so.
Give it a really healthy swirl, I think.
It's like, it kind of just hit me from here. Like, you get that? I mean, like the aroma.
I'm
just
holding
like,
the glass quite a bit.
Literally,
It weighs.
I think you could be,
Yeah, well.
you'd be 6 feet away from this and smell it right now.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for bringing it. What a crazy bottle. I mean, I've never had anything this old. Whoa. Sorry. The aromas on this are just stupid. Stupid, crazy aromas. Wow.
Yeah, what's it telling you?
Wow. This is a good bottle. This is a really good bottle of wine. So this, you know, I've had some Madeiras that go back to maybe the 20s, the 1920s, sorry. I have to like actually say that now. Normally, if you would assume the 20s would be. But anyway, in this instance, 100 years older than any Madeira I've ever had. You know, not even tasting this wine. It is fresh and beautiful. It's got that Madeirized, really, you know, classic, just nutty, but everything's there and just. I can't wait to try this. But I'm not rushing it.
Yeah, no,
Not gonna rush
really,
this.
really gotta. No. We got the whole bottle, so
Yeah, I mean,
this is to be enjoyed.
exactly. I just can't. Yeah, I can't get over the history of that.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm impressed with the nose.
It's like full on like that. It's not quite creme brulee, but I'm trying to think of what that is.
That's what came to mind for me.
It's like a creme brulee, but better. I'm trying to think of what that is. It's like a dessert or something that has that real rich honey and what the God, now it's killing me. Wow. This wine literally I get just as much flavor now as 30 seconds ago when I put it in my mouth. Still tastes
Still
it.
there, right?
It's like a it's almost like a burnt custard, which sounds like creme brulee, but there's something about it that's a little bit different. That's really familiar. I'm gonna think about it in a second. I don't even need to taste the wine. I'm done with the wine. I took one sip. I'm just gonna enjoy this for the next half an hour because I can still taste it the same as I did the first sip. Do you get that? Like when you get that persistence to it?
I wasn't as patient as you were. I went for taste number 2, and
that's okay. That's okay. It's allowed.
it definitely did not disappoint. So.
No, I mean I'm excited to go back to it, but I just can't believe that I'm still tasting that.
So what I think we should do with this, as we enjoy this bottle, is we should probably decant it. We should enjoy some of it now. But what I think is going to be really fun, and this is just from, I've had a couple of these throughout the years with my dad and family on special occasions, and it's actually the next day is where
better?
Or at least some of them have actually shown better once they really air out. So
wow, I cannot put my finger on this butterscotch component.
Butterscotch is actually a great way to describe it.
It's a distinctive butterscotch kind of dessert thing. Oh man.
Without being sweet,
No, it's not heavy. It's just beautiful. Do we know what the alcohol is? It doesn't look like back in the day they cared to put that on the label.
No, I don't think they really cared.
Where's the government warning?
Yeah.
Can't find it. There's nothing on there. Like, I love how this bottle is crooked on the bottom. It's like goes off to the side.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something like this is just a treasure. It's so cool to be able to try this. I think it's held up remarkably well. The flavor is insane how it keeps going and going. I mean, it's funny. I wonder when they recorked it 100 years ago what they were thinking, because they probably tried it, right? So they're like taking out corks, this bad boy, this 100-year-old beast that didn't.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I'm glad we opened. It was good to open it today. I think this wouldn't have gone another 100 years, or not that I would care, but
we're hanging right at a sweet spot.
Maybe not another 15 years. So I think that was ideal as far as opening this bottle, and it just has something to it that I don't think you get in like regular wines that aren't fortified. Yeah. So interesting.
How is thinking about Madeira wine? I'm not a big Madeira person. Is that something that you have in your cellar, or is that? More
I don't.
Of
So I've only had them at at restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
So, when you if someone brings one over or something, but I'm not an expert. I know actually very, very little about them, but occasionally, having them, I've had some ones that have been really remarkably memorable. Like, wow, that was really, really cool. And I think one, like I said, from the 1920s or so was the oldest I've had. And this tops that. I mean, this is definitely, this is just funny that you were saying this was like hidden in a barrel filled with straw or whatever in some cellar somewhere in your family's history is so cool. I mean, I can't get over that find. It's like such a find.
It's a great way to describe it. I'm happy to be enjoying it with you.
Thank you. I mean, this is
right guy to try this.
It doesn't. I don't see this going away. I don't see that intensity fading. It's like you said. You said it was like better the next day or whatever it was.
Yeah. So I
totally could see that.
I think I've probably maybe tried 3 of these wines with my dad, and one of them. Just honestly, it didn't show well, so I was curious as to how.
Well, I bet it was a cork. Like my guess is, if you had massive oxidation through a failed cork, you're gonna have issues. These wines can stand up to most oxidation. I think they're pretty robust that way. I mean, I really do appreciate that, and it's so funny too, looking at all this text in here. It's like all the years it went through, all these things. It was imported. It was bottled in this state. It was decanted on this date. It was recorked on this date.
Well, what I'm curious
that history
about
doesn't exist.
Yeah, what I'm curious about on that sort of, as you said, those listed names, this William Faring.
Yeah, who's this guy?
And I've been trying to search and ask
you did
family
look him
members,
up?
and I can't.
It must be like a merchant that was like, or almost like a distributor maybe or something, or at the time, I don't know if we had a 3-tiered system in 1820 something.
Sounded like it
Probably
was
not.
A little bit less structured.
Yeah, a little less structured. Most likely that was the case. Now, so one thing on this is pre-Prohibition wine is really, really rare, right? In that time period in the U.S., those wines just didn't exist, or they existed at the time, but they were sold as like sacramental wines and other tricks and such to keep up the wine trade. Pour another splash.
Why don't you just give me a little top off there?
Little hit there. So, to me, I mean, one of the things, history, like I said, crazy. I mean, I love the history of wine in general because I've gone through, for me, 22 vintages or whatever in winemaking, and everything that happens in those years is different. There's always some struggle. There's some crazy stuff that happens. Some things are amazing. There's tragedy. There's floods. There's whatever it is. But what's kind of cool about this, the extra history piece, is the Prohibition angle. And I think that it's just so rare to get something that was, 1919 on the eve of Prohibition, and that's something you don't see every day. Is a wine that was squirreled away. It sounds like in a family cellar, maybe hidden. I mean, I don't know. You said it was in a barrel.
Hidden in plain sight.
Oh, you said it was in a barrel, and I'm assuming this barrel had like a head put on it after the stuff was stuffed in there.
Absolutely.
So it's like this idea of like, okay, we got to squirrel these away. We got to save this wine for the future, for the next whatever. And that's just like, to me, that's just magic history right there, because that's like all about, how the wine was made, how it was transported, it was going through all these things, and then how it was saved so that it wasn't, like the cops didn't come down and bust open the barrels and smash the bottles like they were doing back in that day. And that's why it's still here, is because someone in your family was like, oh, we got to squirrel this away.
Yeah, no,
I think that's awesome.
I think, we're fortunate that, there were some persistent people there who wanted to make sure that they could enjoy it. And then, very glad that my dad and uncle jumped in and said, hey, we can now squirrel this away for the next 50 years, and we'll enjoy it as the occasion allows. So,
yeah.
But speaking about history, I know you're such an avid fan of the history of wines, and so I figured you were the perfect person to enjoy this wine with.
Olav, thank you again. This is cheers, by the way.
Absolutely my pleasure.
This is a remarkable. Look at the legs on that thing, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see that in the light. It's insane. This is an experience that I've never had before, and really appreciate you bringing it. Really special bottle, and not only just because it's a special bottle, which a lot of people could come and say this is a great bottle of wine, but it's got this family history that only you can provide. And if you didn't tell that story, no one would know it. Most people wouldn't have any idea where this bottle came from or why it exists, and that's so cool that you tied that in. So, do really appreciate it, and thanks again for sharing.
Thanks for enjoying it with me.
You got it. Anytime.